for you to put it on shackle. When the war so easy on me body. When it got man them there, the man to man the look and the
Welcome to the mailbox. It's that time of the evening. It's 5:30 in the afternoon. You're listening to Love 101. And indeed, we're talking about the mailbox, a place where we encourage, uplift, and empower our men to be all that they can be. So today, do we have a show with you? I'm Pastor Courtney Morrison. Along with me is my guest, my co-host. How could I say he's my guest? We've been doing this thing for 13 years. Kevin Bailey. And together we make Casey. That was a pun. Just want to tell you today we'll be having a great show. May is Child Month, and the 2026 theme is Prioritize Our Children's Mental Health, Strong Minds, Safer Future. The month features specialized events focusing on nurturing resilience, emotional health, and protection against abuse. Key focus area for youth development in Child's Month 2026 are mental health focus, 1, 2, safety and protection, 3, structured activities. On the structured activities, we are talking about special school-based initiatives like wellness benches, community involvement as well. The campaign urges adults to get involved, indeed, to support the total development and well-being of young people. And also we're talking about support for vulnerable youth. Activities include distributing care packages, as hosting praying and playing events for children affected by crises such as the hurricane. Reaching boys with the gospel requires combining active experiential environments with authentic mentorship. Boys respond well to kinesthetic learning and challenge-driven settings. Ministries often succeed by sharing scriptural truths with hands-on activities, sports, and peer-led counselorship. We're talking about reaching our boys with the gospel today, and this is a program designed for men with guests who are men, hosted by men. And it's aired every Wednesday unless it's a holiday at 5:30 p.m. right here on Love 101, the family station. It is the mailbox. Just a reminder, I'm Courtney Morrison, and with me is...
Kevin Bailey. Courtney, great to be here, man from Moran Point in the Grill. What an awesome show we have. May 20, 2026. To all our listeners, thanks for making Love 101 your station of choice. We're talking about reaching our boys with the gospel. And today we'll be having a very special guest conversation with a friend and a colleague, evangelist Errol Rattray, sharing about doing boy conferences, visiting numerous schools on an all-island wide crusade, and also celebrating 25 years of this kind of ministry. Courtney.
Hey, Kevin. I want you to help me to do the honors of introducing our guests. We know each other from the days of Youth for Christ, Kingston Youth for Christ, Jamaica Youth for Christ. So we all three have something in common here.
Yep.
So let me see if I begin and then I hand it over to you. He's evangelist Errol Rattray, Errol D. Rattray, just in case those persons don't know. He is the president and CEO of the Errol Rattray Evangelistic Association. He's an international evangelist and has a pastor's heart, an intercessor's spirit, a prophetic anointing, and is called to preach the gospel not only to the people of Jamaica, but to other nations. For many years, he worked in the life insurance industry as a life underwriter. He's one of the leaders of the Jamaica Baptist Union Churches, executive member of Hands Across Jamaica for Righteousness, the Jamaica Evangelical Alliance, executive member of Kingston Keswick Council, and chairman of the National Prayer Vigil of Jamaica. He is an advisory board member of Choose Life International and Aglow International. He served with Jamaica Youth for Christ in various capacities and also moderated the fellowship circuit of Baptist churches in Portland. Kev.
Yes, Evangelist Rattray has preached in the Caribbean islands, Africa, England, and the United States of America, and also participated in the World Conferences on Evangelism in Amsterdam, Cape Town, South Africa, and Seoul, Korea. He is involved in various social outreach programs, including the annual Boys Conference hosted by Area, and has distributed over 3,000 free wheelchairs to persons in need. He currently hosts a weekly television program. His ministry continues to touch the lives of individuals in all segments of society. Two of his mentors in evangelism are the late evangelist Dr. Billy Graham and Reverend Dr. Jerry Gallimore. He's married to an amazing woman, Heather Joy Marine, for 49 years and is seriously committed to family life. The motto of Evangelist Rattray is, "With God, all things are possible, and where faith is exercised, miracles happen." He believes that the best can be achieved when persons surrender their lives to Jesus Christ. Man of man from Warren Point to Negril, help me welcome our very special guest, Errol Rattray. Brother Errol, welcome to the mailbox.
Thank you so very much. Thank you so very much. I'm listening and I'm looking and I see two young male who have watched develop over the years, that they have now mature and can, you could say, they have their PhD in manhood. And I'm talking to Courtney. I should tell you, my prayers continue to be with their family in the loss of your mom last year, mother-in-law and your father-in-law. And, we just want to, it take a real man to go through those, and to keep the family. And Kevin, I watched you going from Kevin and Robin to Kevin and Muriel. and your big son who is a rose color, and what Courtney does blossom. And so when I see both of you, I realize I am in good space and with good people, and I'm excited about what will take place. So good evening to all of you in Jamaica and across the world.
Wow, no, it's really a privilege and honor, Courtney, to be in the same space with Errol Rattray. We're gonna go in it as quick as possible because we know time flies, But just want to remind our listeners, man and man, remember, we want to hear from you. We're live on Facebook and YouTube at Love 101 FM Jamaica. Remember, you can leave your comments via our WhatsApp line at 876-997-3125. That's 876-997-3125. Or call our studio lines 876-968-8327 or 876-968-8328. Also, we're on TikTok at Love 101 FM Jamaica.
So, ladies, want to say, what would you do to reach our young men, our boys with the gospel? You can participate in the program by leaving us a message via WhatsApp or Facebook or YouTube where we're live. Females, remember, no calls or voice notes are allowed. So, ladies, remember, leave us a message, text at WhatsApp 997-3125 or Facebook and YouTube pages. We'll appreciate those messages. Thank you.
Yeah.
And Brother Errol, we have a ritual, on the mailbox. And we simply say, after we count to 3, we're going to together say, Mandaya.
Yeah, I was listening for that. I was saying, don't tell me you're going to make it start thing. I don't join you both in saying,
Monday.
No, go ahead.
So after 3, right? 1, 2, 3. Monday. Definitely. So men are present, and what a time to have this conversation. But before we head into the main discussion, it's now time for us to get into the segment that we dub Draft, where we preliminarily open the way to our main segment. We want to ask Evangelist Errol Rattray, is the church doing enough to reach our boys with the gospel? Yes or no, yea or nay, and depending on your answer, why not? Evangelist.
I want to say this, that there's a little saying that sometimes you don't let the right hand know what the left hand is doing. I think that's one of the things sometimes the church is guilty of. In terms of a question you're asking about if the church is doing enough for our male or boys, I would answer that they are doing, but there are still more that could be done. All right, and so they're doing. That's one who's out there. And just today, I know I'm just coming from Seaforth High School where a boy was murdered by another boy, 14-year-old. And after leaving there, went to another boy was accidentally from the same school shot a year ago, and he's now paralyzed from the waist down. And I'm coming from a vantage point of over the years working with a Youth for Christ that deals with young people. Work with I am a networker, so I work across the denominational lines, and so I have a kind of knowing what is taking place within the Christian community. And I, like for last year, for example, I went into 50 schools across St. Thomas. And the year before...
Did you say 50?
50 schools. 50 schools across St. Thomas. And in the year before, I went into 54 schools across Clarendon. And later this year, into St. James, where we are taking St. James with Jesus. We are going into another near 50 plus schools. And one might ask, what is the rationale behind all of this? You're an evangelist, and there's a tent. There's the media in terms of television. But what is the rationale by going in the school? In the school is because that's where there's a captive audience of our students, both male and female. In the school, there's still the opportunity in our nation where we can share the gospel. And in this school, I find and I saw where you said something in where there's authentic mentorship and what you call the kind of thing that is done in the school for using not just sit and just talk, but to give people opportunity to operate. I see where the church combined with the parachurch. The church combined, and you all know that the churches in Jamaica represent the what they call the Jamaica umbrella group of churches, represent some 96% of the churches in Jamaica. And within the context of the church, there are the denominations and the what we call the ministers fraternal. And I want to congratulate Courtney. Recently, he was the chairman of one of those fraternal in Portmore. It's a large community, and I see my friend is now the new chairman. And so because I interface with the different denominations, umbrella groups, and the churches and ministers fraternal, I recognize that a lot of things are taking place in order to try to win our boys. And just let me say this. There are 5 things that, as I, over the years, I've worked with these in different institutions. I have found out one is that our boys want to belong. They want to belong with a group, with somebody, with some peers. Our boys want to be loved. And as we talk about Child Month, I maybe just indicate.
Brother Errol, stick up in a little. We're going to take our first break to the studio.
Yes.
When we come back, we'll let you carry through Courtney and Kevin in the place with a very special guest, Evangelist Errol Rattray. We'll go to the studio. We'll be back in a moment.
This is Love 101 FM, the family station. It's 5:45.
Want to upgrade your home but don't know where to start? Check Home and Things. We have have the deals that will do the work for you. Get unbeatable deals on tiles, bathroom fixtures and vanities, faucets, windows and doors, plus so much more. Enjoy big savings and visit Home and Things, 1215 Providence Way, Iron Shore, Montego Bay, 17 Old Hope Road or 68.5 Constant Spring Road, and get deals that will work for you.
Every professional reaches a moment when growth calls, a promotion, a new opportunity, a bigger vision. At Mona School of Business and Management, our globally competitive graduate programs, including the internationally accredited MBA, are designed for ambitious professionals who are ready to lead. With flexible delivery options that fit your lifestyle, advancing your career is within reach. Learn from world-class faculty, connect with influential leaders, transform your future. Visit discover.msbm-uwi.org and apply online for a graduate degree. MSBM, Global Knowledge, Regional Solutions.
Holtz Hardware Supplies Limited. Labor Day sale. Discount on electrical, plumbing, household items, and selected building materials. Up to 30% discount on selected items. Conditions apply. Don't miss out on our unbeatable prices. Saturday, May 23, St. John's Road, between Ebony and Royal Place, Spanish Town. Holtz Hardware Supplies Limited, your one-stop hardware and home center store. Saturday, May 23, 876-548-3050, 458-4949.
Start your day informed, alert, and ahead of the curve. Join us at 6:30 a.m. for the latest breaking news, weather updates, and everything you need to know. Clear, concise, connected. It's your morning news right here on Love 101 FM, the family station. On Mondays, the morning news is brought to you by the Ministry of National Security Live Good Anti-Violence Campaign.
I am a man, I am a man, I am a man, yes. Strong man, integrity man, I am a man.
Welcome back. This is the
Welcome
mailbox.
back to the program, the mailbox. We're live.
Yes, and I realize it's a
Live on Love 101 FM. Kevin and Courtney here along with our guest today. It is Errol Rattray as our special guest. He is our guest today. Before we took the break, Evangelist Rattray was mentioning that there are ways, 5 ways of winning boys, or he was talking about they want to belong and they want to be loved. May you continue from where you left off?
Okay, so our boys want to belong, and they want to be loved, and they want to adventure. Our boys want to make sure that which is within them, they can experiment with it. And our boys but they want to be appreciated. And the other thing I would want to say about our boys, they want to be guided. They want to be guided. And I believe where we bring all of those to bear, it will make a difference to the behavior pattern of our boys. And, I thought of it, and this is really my original, that in Child's Month, you have what is called Family Month. And in Child's Month, you have the mother and you have the child. But the father is not in Child's Month. It is in June, the start of hurricane season. I wonder if that our fathers are such bad guys like Hurricane, and if maybe is the missing of the father figure. Why? And if I had the power, I would bring father, mother, child into Child's Month, or what it's called. I'm just undergirding that. So there are those 5 things
family
that
month and done, eh?
I didn't hear that.
That family month instead of anything else, yes?
Yes. So I make that thing and say that our boys are from the inception of time. Our boys from Moses' days, they want to get rid of the boy. Remember the story of how in Egypt with the Israelite being there, or they decide that boy, get rid of the boys by asking Nanny to get rid of them as soon as them come. And the Nanny said, boy, we can't. The Israelites are so active that by the time we go to kill the boy come. Then the Pharaoh said, let us search and find where the boys are when they're born by the soldiers and kill that child. And so from inception, our our boys have been under what I call something to try to get rid of, because in that child, the boy, there's so much. It's from that child that a woman will get the child. Without the man, the male, it will not happen. And then you notice Jesus being another male wanted to be having, there was a plan to get rid of him. So the male seemed to be under wanting by the, I call it the satanic force to get rid of. And so it is, how do we now preserve the male, preserve the boys so that become better boys? And so our organization for the past 20 years developed what I call boys conferences. And you have been there, Kevin, and Courtney,
Yes.
you have been there too, and see all these hundreds of boys from schools
Yeah.
across the country, and boys who would have been expelled, boy would have been, they were at the bottom of their class, boys who were in gang, boys who were with drugs, boys who were living with older women, although coming to school. Some of you might not realize that our boys, some of the older persons have targeted them, the gangs have targeted them. That's why I said they want to belong. And the adults who are in gang realize that, so they try to bring them in. And they realize they need to be loved. And a lot of our boys are not being loved. And so if you show boys love, if you allow them to belong, if you appreciate them, and if you allow them to a space, you will find, and I have found, and maybe I have too many call me uncle, a lot of them call me daddy, because I feel that there is that principle, if when employed, a boy will tell you even things they won't tell their own father or mother. And so I want to say that a lot is being done for our boys, but there is still more to be done. So as we continue the discussion, so I talk about a boy. Let me just share. You were
Sir Errol, before you go any further, we want to find out a bit more. Who is Errol Ratcho? We know you're famous and thing across from Negril Point to Moran Point. But for
I
those
don't like
who
to talk
probably
about
have never
myself.
heard of Errol Ratcho before, we want to hear a little about your childhood days, where you grew up.
Oh,
where
you mean
come
that
from,
way? You know that
were
way.
you
You
born
mean
in
where I'm
Hoko,
born, where I've
or
come
were you
from.
born
Well,
in Africa?
yeah,
We want
I
to
have.
hear some more
I
about
tell you something. In my preaching, sometimes I say some things that cause the audience to react. One of them is that I am from a little place called Banks. And I always said to the audience, do you know where Banks is? And I say, some of you, and one person one time said, well, maybe it's where BNS or NCB or all those places. That's the Banks they know of. But Banks is a little district in a place called Clarendon, in a place called Vere. If you go to Monimusk, Lionel Town, where's Sugar, and if you head down, you go to Halley, and you go to a place named Racecourse, like you're heading to Milk River, which where our one of our, what do you call it, mineral bath. About 6-7 miles from mineral bath, there is this place called Banks, and that's where I'm from. It's a little rural community. Me, cane, farmers, fishing community not far from it, Beecham, Alligator Pond, and so I'm from that community. But from a poor family, yeah, although some people hear the name Ratry, because Ratries are sometimes associated with the legal fraternity and the political arena and all of that. So persons would say, boy, it means from a very rich family. I'm from my father and my mother, they together, they're 8 boys, 1 girl, and I fall almost in the middle. So I think the Lord allowed me to get in the middle so I can pull them together if they go any way that they shouldn't go. I think he has positioned me in the middle. You know, like Jesus was on the cross with the two thieves. And so I think he has positioned me. I must have been, I'm told, the first child who got a common entrance in my district to go to a high school, Glenmuir High School. So maybe that, again, it was maybe God has his hands on me from I was small. And I maybe, because of what I heard happen, that when I was small, I was asthmatic. And I was prayed over and it went. And I can't recall the asthma part, but I'm told. But I said to myself, it must be that God uniquely have. And so when you ask who is Errol Rattray, is the one who came out from a Christian background family. My father and mother were leaders in the church, and they instill this Christian lifestyle in us. The whole question of honesty, respect, the whole question of you need to look about others, not just for yourself. And so we came out of that situation. So I came from a situation when my father and mother were, when they cook not just for us, but they cook for a little over, that if anybody needed it, pass through, and if anybody comes to the food, right, share. So I came from that sort of setting. And I came from a setting where, as boys, we had to help to clean the place. And so I know how to, before they had those things to clean place, it was your coconut brush. You cut out. You don't know that, Courtney. What you know, you're not killing. And you have to just use it and clean. And the thing, Red Oaks? You don't know those things. So I came from that. And I think that has helped me in terms of appreciating others. And that people can come from anywhere. And as long there's a Christian aspect attached, they can move to anywhere. And so you ask, who is Errol Rattray? Errol Rattray, as a youngster, was one who I think got an opportunity in terms of, one, in the faith, two, to be exposed to a lifestyle, which was one where I grew up in a loving family. And thank God that I came and saw that with my mother and father. And at the point of my mother's death, they would have been married for just about 50 plus years. And this year, 7th of August, I would have been married to the same woman for 50 years. So I think it is.
Congrats,
I saw, Edo, Joy, and I feel it is because of what I saw. And so I am committed to family life. I'm committed to justice. I'm committed to see fair play. And I will go against the entire group. Kevin, and you know that. And Courtney, you know that I have strong views, because Courtney and myself go back far. And I congratulate Courtney.
Way back. Errol,
and Youth for Christ. And when I see him know his past of fellowship.
We have to take a break, Errol. Sorry to have to stop you, but we're up on our second break for the afternoon.
We're
going to take our second break here on the mailbox. This is Love 101. I'm Pastor Courtney Morrison along Kevin Bailey, Errol Rattray. We come right back after these messages.
Integrity man, I am a man.
This is Love 101 FM, the family station. It's 6 o'clock.
Open the eyes of my heart.
Get your tickets now. Don't miss Come Alive, a national call to worship this Emancipation Day, August 1, 2026.
Limited special offer tickets available now
At Love 101 FM, Monday to Friday from 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Prices are as follows. General admission $7,000, VIP $22,000, and VVIP $32,000. Secure your tickets early and be part of a powerful night of worship, music, and impact.
Limited special offer tickets available now
At Love 101 FM, Monday to Friday from 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m.
This is a special announcement from Love 101 and Love Television. Our general offices will be closed to the public for the observance of Labor Day, Monday, May 25, and will reopen on Tuesday, May 26, 2026 at 8:30 a.m. Programs and commercials for Monday, May 25 should be submitted by 9 a.m. on Friday, May 22. Obituaries and notices should be submitted by 10 a.m. on the same day to ensure scheduling for broadcast. Love 101 and Love TV wish for you and yours a peaceful Labor Day.
I am a man, I am a man, I am a man, yes. Strong man, integrity man, I am a man.
Welcome back. This is the Mailbox here every Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. on your favorite radio station, Love 101 FM. Courtney and Kevin in the place, and we're having our very special guest, Evangelist Errol Rattray. Before we continue, I have to tell you just a little bit about the Jamaica Home Economics Association annual general meeting coming up. And I have to say this because it's our producer, Jermaine Johnson, who has been president of this organization, the first male president, and he's been leading from 2023. And now they're having the AGM on Thursday, May 21, 2026, 8:30 to 3 p.m. at the University of Technology. And so it promises to be great. And just want to congratulate Jermaine for, being the first.
Big up, Jermaine! JJ!
Big up.
Congratulations, Jermaine. Congrats.
No, I tell you.
Big radio announcer too,
Yes.
No, man. No.
No.
Jermaine. Doing some amazing work. So, Evangelist Errol Rattray, I want you area is celebrating 25 years. You have been going across the entire nation, reaching boys, doing conferences, all of those things. Why are you doing this? Why you didn't take something easier? How did you end up taking on, you're known as what, the Billy Graham of the Caribbean? How did you get involved into this? Why are you doing all of this, Evangelist Errol Rattray?
I will share with you this. And as you heard, I, at a point in my life, was involved in life insurance. During that period, I rose to be what is called Vice President of Sales Staff Association. And from that, and it was an organization called Mutual Life, which is now Guardian Life. But before going to Mutual Life here, I spent, 10.5 years. I worked with an organization, another insurance company called British American. And some of you wouldn't know British American was those who called it a debit. And for that, I spent a little time in the bauxite industry. And in the bauxite industry, because of maybe my being wanting to see justice, I ended up being a union delegate. And I did something which maybe I should repent for, because I locked down the people them company, the big bauxite company, and said that the expatriate must go home because of what they seemed to be doing, and as a Christian with a radical spirit. And so you know me now when I'm less radical. And so I just thought I would add that into the mix. But what happened is that when Hurricane, that while Gilbert struck, the day after, I was walking down the street on which I live, and we couldn't drive out, and I saw all light posts broken, string across the place, all the zincs and thing of buildings, the trees were being knocked down, and I heard a voice saying, "People's life are like Jamaica the day after Gilbert," and we're hearing stories of things across the nation, and I heard in that voice saying, "I want you to rebuild the life of people. I'm calling you to rebuild." So I said, one might say, did I hear it audible or is in my mind? And as I walked a little further, it again came. I know when I came home and I said to my wife, the experience, the encounter that I had. And after, some time, I decided if that's what God wants to. So at the time, I must confess that I was on the company, what is called Marketing and Strategy Committee, that of Mutual Life. That's the committee that has the president, have the marketing manager, the actuary, and I represented the sales staff on that team. And so there are about 7 of us. Look at the pricing of our competitor in terms of the insurance, looking at the product that they offer, and to look at how can we promote what we have that our company become more profitable. So we have to look for the edge. How do we do it? Have to look at edge over your competitors. I was a part of that. But in that setting, every 3 years, I would have been able, once I'm on quota, be able to buy a car at no interest rate every 3 years. Every 5 years, I would be able to buy a house at 5% low interest rate. It's in the context of that the call came to me. So it means that if I had stayed in the insurance, I would have every 5 years I could have buy another house. And in terms of, but the Lord called me. Then I went into an organization called Youth for Christ, and what they gave me, well, I won't tell you, because you would laugh at me and say, "How could you?" And people thought maybe I knocked my head, right? So I gave guidance to Youth for Christ, and they gave a vehicle to drive, and maybe what they give you just gas money, and because Youth for Christ, and I recognize at the time that the Baptist Union invited me to serve in a place called Fellowship. And in Fellowship, what I went and saw, now I understand what the Lord to rebuild people's life. The young, the older ones, in different setting. And in that setting, that's where one of the church I pastored is All Maroons, Moortown. That's where Nanny. And freak hurricane storm came, and about 6 persons were killed. The valley was cut off, and I just hear that it's time for you to make the move in terms of going full time. They have to get helicopter in order for people to be moved from one place to the other. People's house, the mud came up, water came, destroyed the children's, all of their clothes and books, and destroyed farm. And I was in the middle of that, trying to bring people's life out of what there was. And so I made a decision that I would go full time. When I went out to talk insurance, sometimes instead of while I'm talking, people just started to tell me their life story, and I would share God to them. People would make commitments. I would pray for people. Yet I went to sell insurance.
Yeah.
So it was like the thing was
you gave them full life insurance, eternal life insurance.
So you asked me how was it? And then I was preaching at Brownstone Baptist Church by the Reverend Edward Al. And the night when I preached, just before I went up to preach that night, I said something, sang a song, and all of a sudden I saw people running from outside the road coming into the church. I thought they were coming to do something. But people come to the altar to give their life to Christ from outside. And I said, what is this? So the Lord was showing me all sort of things. And then I was invited to go to Guyana. And in Guyana, what took place really cemented, because I decided to give away some things for the person who brought the most people. A guy who had a gang, heard about it and bring about 20 of his gang member. And the night, about 15 of them get saved.
Bless God.
The following night, the church couldn't hold the people. I had to ask for
excellent testimony.
Permission. And so I said, whoa, this is something, because a prominent doctor in this country, I was having a pain, and he said, if you go to Guyana and if things burst in you, they are not medically at the point like us. You could come back dead. And I said, but God, if you're calling me, I'm going to make the trip. And my little nephew, the night I was at the house where I was, and he hear me crying out in the night, and he come and he said, God, I love my uncle. Don't make him die. Heal him. That was it. So even through a little boy, my little nephew, Ryan, I saw God just doing some things. I close this part. When I went to Guyana, there was the Hindu, their priest, they call them Punti. And there was one of those Hindu child they had sent her home to die. And I go talk about, and you might have heard me talk about, about God's power. Oh, God allow a black cow to ingrid gas and give white milk. And that same cow, if you take the white milk and you churn it, you get yellow cheese. And if you look in its eye, you will see either it is brown or black. And if you cut it, it's red meat. And I say, God in one, animal can put so much color. If a person surrender their life to God, he will do that miraculous setting up your life. And the Hindu came and said, you believe what you talk about, God can do anything? Well, my daughter is dying, and if God heal her, then my family will serve God. You know that I went to the family, but I bring some person with me, afraid. But the man said, I say, if you believe in your God, come to my house tomorrow. That would have destroyed any ministry, because I go public, the man. And when I went to the house, I prayed for that little child. And I said, Lord, please, would you imagine that 2 days later, the child who was on bed and they had to die, get up and start, and it spread across the whole place. And a whole lot of Hindus start to surrender their life and turn. So for me, what I heard, what God says, it was coming to place where I was bringing people's life together. But I made the commitment.
Sir Errol, before you go any further, we want to, after all of that, because we only have one segment, how did you segue into evangelizing specifically to boys, this boys conference?
Okay, great.
And what are the ways, that we want to do?
You're going to take the break first.
We're coming up on our final break right now. We want to hear about ways of preaching to our boys, mentorship and relationship, interaction, and the kinesthetic learning that he tells about. So this is the mailbox. I'm Courtney Martin and Kevin Bailey. Our special guest, Errol D. Rattray, evangelist, former life underwriter, insurance sales agent, man who could have buy 5 houses that gave it all up. We'll come right back after these messages. Soon come.
I am a man, yes. Strong man, integrity man, I am a man.
This is Love 101 FM, the family station. It's 6:15.
Hey, Kidsville is coming to Hope Zoo this Child's Month. With one all-access armband, you'll enjoy VR Town, Carnival Kingdom, Adventure Arena, and Little Explorer's Garden, a whole world of fun made just for kids. Don't miss it, May 29 and 30. Kidsville is a Child's Month event powered by Edge Marketing Solutions. Follow us at Kidsville_JA. Kidsville, designed for kids, just for kids.
Get your tickets now. Don't miss Come Alive, a national call to worship this Emancipation Day, August 1, 2026.
Limited special offer tickets available now
At Love 101 FM, Monday to Friday from 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Prices are as follows. General admission $7,000, VIP $22,000, and VVIP $32,000. Secure your tickets early and be part of a powerful night of worship, music, and impact.
Limited special offer tickets available now
At Love 101 FM, Monday to Friday from 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m.
I am a man, I am a man, I am a man, yes. Strong man, integrity man, I am a man.
Welcome back to this our final segment of the mailbox. Remember, you may send us text messages at 997-3125, area code 876. We're live on Facebook and YouTube, and also on TikTok at Love 101 FM. Good evening, Pastor Courtney, Brother Bailey, and everyone. Alvarine Ellison, good evening to you as well. Blessings, Pastor Rattray. Do you know Alvarine? She's saying hello to you. You segued out of Guyana. You came back to Jamaica. You have now concentrating on mentoring and having schools conference, boys conferences. Tell us what led you to do that in as short a time as possible, and tell us about the ways of reaching our boys.
Okay, so thanks, and let me see if I can do it in this final segment. What happened is that as I went across, not just Jamaica, but in other countries, there's that which came upon me, that when it comes to the male, the male have much to offer, and if they are going to be the one who are the fathers in the future, they are going to be the ones who, at the time, most men were the ones who were like in the business leaders, and they were the ones at the time were like the doctors. Now the women have come up and have almost taken over from the men. But at that time, when I decided we're good, I said, but if it is our men who are, when they get bigger, about gunman, bad man, drugs man, and never hear about, you didn't hear in the Jamaica culture, you didn't say bad woman, drugs woman thing, but when it comes to men, they would associate, and I won't call the other man, but they would associate that with men. And I said, if men are going to be the future and they are coming out of our high schools, and if you had 10 years to the age of a child in 13, 14, that they are going to be in the work world or the study world, then I would love to see how I can influence the mindset, so I could change a negative mindset of those who are going to be the future leaders. So it's against that background that the boy's friend, my wife, Eda, and I must say thanks to her, at a men's conference at Calabar. And at Calabar High School, I invited some boys, but I said, I'll put the boys by themselves and the men by themselves. And we had a subject we're dealing, what a woman wants from a man. Or put another way, what a man wants from a woman. And the boys who are supposed to be in another segment, you know what happened? They run come to that segment. It wasn't their segment, it's a men's segment. And then I realized that this thing of women, sex, attract our young boys. And we didn't run them out. No, we didn't. We allowed them. And my wife said to me, Errol, you have to, instead of having a men conference and then invite the boys, you need to have a boys conference. So in true that fact, I want to say thanks to my wife who said to me that it's a boy conference you need to have. And from that, we have had and have been having boys conference. So it's a matter of trying to change the negative mindset. And we decided that we would go for the boys who are having problem in the school, and we would bring the guidance council along with their dean of discipline. So let's suppose we are taking 25 boys from a school. We would say, give us 20 of the trouble boys and give us 5 of the better boys with their guidance council. And then we would use the conference in order to see how we affect the minds of the boys. But we would give it a subtle spiritual, they call it, under, so that we don't feel that we bring them just to Christianize them. Because once you do that, I don't think we'll get the kind of endorsement. So what is this conference about? It is we talk about conflict resolution. We talk about how to succeed against the odds. And you have to be careful the words you use, because one of our conferences was nearly destroyed because of using the word succeed. There's a negative connotation. And one of our presenters would say, boys, you have to succeed. And the boys them said, no, sir, no, sir, no, sir. And I said to the guys, well, what does that mean? They said, no, down in the inner city, you have to use the word achieve, you know? So I realized that the negative, like a man say, that was a wicked goal. What's wicked about the goal? One, like Kevin dress and he's saying, no man, look trashy already. What is trashy in it? They see your hairstyle and say, man, you know. So the point I'm making is that we went of that. But we talk about the respect for self. We look at the whole question of how can you succeed against the odds. We talk about, and I introduce what is called the God factor. And you might hear I say, when one is in faith, it makes a difference. So we talk about with God, the man who made the world, the one who made you. If you give him the opportunity, what will happen in terms of behavior, in terms of your success, in terms of your academics and things. And amazingly, it started to turn around the boys. And in schools, where you heard about one school, a boy was going to mash up the school, and the guidance counselor said, "Me not leave him in the school, I take him to the boys' conference just to save the school." And when the boy came, go back, he said to the guidance counselor, "Sir, I want you and I to transform the school." The same boy, you heard there, Kevin, and heard that testimony.
Yeah.
Service. I was at Emancipation Park, and one young guy went up and said, "Sir, I was about to expel, and you came to my school. We came to your thing, and today," and so we get in all those things. So the schools have now asked us to have a girls' conference, because the girls are almost, there are some things that are happening, and so we are going to do for the first time this year a girls' conference. So you ask, why did we start it? Because we saw where the boys are, people were saying the boy them bad, them mash up at school, the boys them. And I felt that the Christian faith could make a difference. And that's the reason why it was really started, as I look at what my wife would have said. So this year is 20 year, and we have gone in the West and done it. So what we do, we build persons from the different parishes. In the West, we take them from Hanover and Westmoreland, St. Elizabeth, Trelawney, St. Anne. This side, we take Clarendon, St. Catherine, Kingston, and St. Andrew, St. Thomas, St. Mary. And and one counselor said, "I must make a confession. You say we should only bring 20. But he says the people hear about, and it's changing the school so much that at the church service, he said, I brought it was a bus with 40 of them."
Yeah.
Brother Rattree. It is doing, it is doing. And so, but when you do a conference, hear this.
Brother Errol, I have to ask you to put in this, just a bit because of the time. But Cherry says, "Good afternoon, gentlemen. Wow, those are some awesome testimonies of how good and great our God is. I want you to incorporate in as you continue. How do we make the changes with our boys to men? Because many persons have given up on our boys. From what you have learned and your experience, do you think that more changes can be done, and what is required of the church, for instance, to deal with our boys to men? Want you to incorporate that
All
before
right, so
we
I
end.
am pushing for church to adopt schools. Because Jamaica have more churches per square mile than any other place. And so if a church will adopt a school, not just one church, maybe a group of it, and if we will, within the context of knowing that there are some problematic boys, and you have girls too, and they, by the adoption, we say we are taking on these and have a good mentorship program. It is true though, Kevin, you must realize in our society where there is a person, see a man and a boy walk down the street, or man come pick him up at home or pick him up, it could carry a certain so one have to know, deal with it. You're a counselor, and people have to trust you. There is a relationship factor, and you have to be there for the long run. You can't just hit and miss it, just go in because of. All right. So when you ask, how can we, the church can play an important role if they focus, if there's a focus. One of the things that happens sometimes is that church are inward looking. What am I getting from it? And if we're not going to get somebody in my church from this, so I'm saying adopt. I'm saying let us work together for the good of making this radical change. So it's a matter of investing time. It's all investing resources. In terms of how does this thing work and how it can work, I want to say I believe in prayer and fasting. Every month, first Monday I'm in Clarendon where we bring the churches together for a time of prayer and fasting. Fourth Wednesday we're in St. Thomas, the same thing. Kingston we're thing. When the Montego Bay, we bring the church together. And one of the reasons some things only happen by prayer and fasting. And I feel we have to be intentional in our prayer, not a scattershot business. We must pray for our boys, pray for the fathers, we must pray for their stepfathers, and we have to be honest with them. It's not a fake thing, it's not a thing that you're doing it for popularity. And the thing about boys know if you're genuine. Well, you could say people know if you know, and if I just surface in it just because I want to take a picture to show. Like today we went to Seaford and we gave away a number of things, and the teachers them want to cry, boy, we gave away some football, we gave away some from Wycliffe time to Wycliffe, some of the Jamaican New Testament Bible. We gave away the whole question of Knox Park. We have made commitments and that we're going to for that school. And then there's the whole question. It's just good boys are going after. Remember, right now, there's a boy who is in a morgue, 14-year-old. There's one who is in a prison. And somebody, and I won't call the name, one of those top educators in this country heard I was going there and send me a thing and say, Errol, don't just concentrate on the boy who is killed. Remember the villain, the one who is in jail now. Don't leave him and say him so bad and thing, because he can be rescued. I just got that from a top person. So we have to.
We need final words from you, Errol. We have 30 seconds left.
Don't know.
30 seconds. Time has run out.
Well, the final word I would do is maybe a prayer. Because when it comes to boys, it would take me about at least 6 hours to talk about them. So let me just say this. I just pray for our boys, pray for our men that they need the fathers, some are missing. They have to get back in their life and we have to find them. And we who are Christian and who are male have to maybe double up. We can't just think about our child alone, our boys alone. But there are those who are out there, they're hurting. There are those who are
20 seconds, 20 seconds.
So, Lord, I thank you for this program. Thank you for Courtney, and thank you for Kevin, and thank you for the impact that this program is making. We know that there's a supernatural power that is available that can help to change our boys, our men. And I pray for our churches that they will adopt. I pray for our men who are in a position to help that they will invest. And I pray, God, that we will go back to basic. And as we push person to the basic, which is to God and the Word, that our boys, our men will be better. We thank you for the time we have spent, and maybe the opportunity might come for another of this, so we can expand about our boys. They're too important, and we give you thanks and praise in your name. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you so much, Evangelist Errol Rattray. Really appreciate your contribution on this evening. Thanks to Jermaine Johnson, our producer, Nico Angus for technical support. Really appreciate this conversation.
Well, let me say thanks for having me. It has been my joy. It's a subject that is in my heart. And if anybody out there having any problem with your boy, make a call to us. We will try to see how we can help them. Our boys are the men, the fathers of the future. And we have to make sure we rescue them. If we rescue them, we have a better tomorrow.
Bless you.
Don't let anyone look down on you because you're young, but set an example for the believers in speech and conduct, in love, in faith and purity. 1 Timothy 4, verse 12. That's our show for today. Catch you next week, Wednesday, May 27, 2025. Same place, same time. This is the Mailbox. Next week, Monday.
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 Bless you.
I am a man, I am a man, I am a man, yes. Strong man, integrity man, I am a man.
You're tuned to Family Radio, broadcasting from Kingston, Jamaica. We're Love 101 FM. The time is now 6:32. It's that time of day for us to bring you the evening temperature check for Kingston and Montego Bay, and also the latest